game, everyone. This is Rich Ramon, and you're listening to Still Toking With. Yeah.
Greetings, my friend. This is the brain of TV's Pinky in the Brain. Yes, and my human avatar, Maurice LaMarche.
Hi, it's Chris Poland, and you're listening to Still Toking With.
Hey, this is Eric Roland, voice of Kendo Rappa on My Hero Academia, and host of the Tough Love Podcast. You're listening to Still Toking With on the Dorkening Podcast Network.
My crew is ready to obtain the absolution, removing any doubt that we was ever fooling.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You are watching Still Toking With. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. And we have a great show with you as usual. And here we go. Benjamin.
You got a little flabbergasted there, didn't you?
I did.
But you didn't push any wrong buttons.
No.
So, we know we have a slight echo, folks, but just deal with it because that's just the way it goes. And we have an amazing guest here. Like, I am so psyched to talk to this person tonight. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I tried to do my show note, but it was like 27 pages long. So, I'm going to let Jeff do it.
Jeffrey.
Yeah. It's a good day. It's another good day. We have a fantastic guest. Yeah, it is a little trippy, echo, but, we're going to have to deal with that. So, without hesitation, let's just bring in our guest, Gina Schock. Welcome.
Guys, I'm sorry about the echo. That's so fucked up, man. I don't know what that's about. We tried to fix it on our side. Is it really bad?
Not when you're talking.
Is it better when I talk actually, or worse?
Yeah. So what's happening is probably the speakers on your side are being picked up by your microphone. So it's only when one of us talk. So when you talk, it's fine. So basically, you need to talk the entire show.
Okay, you just get me started, and I'll take over. Just get me started.
Well, before we do that, I just have to say one thing. I'm waiting for Jeff's dummy to kick in because I know this echo is really going to trip him up and he's going to go into a laugh loop.
Hang in there, guys. Hang in there, okay?
Right. So, in case our viewers or listeners later don't know who this amazing lady is, she is one of the reasons why women in rock and roll are where they are today. So
actually, that worked perfect.
Yeah. What? So when we're talking, I will hit mute.
Oh, you'll just mute her mic. Oh, yeah, that worked.
Wow.
See, Leo, you are smart.
The issue is done. It's over.
Right.
Fantastic, guys. So here, let me take over. I'm going to take over. Just shut up, okay? Here's all I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding you guys. Thank you for having me on. When I first met you guys at the Comic-Con, I thought you were really great. And I love your little intro stuff that you have in the beginning of your podcast. It's really cool, really good. You guys you have a nice little show here, Not bad.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been growing rapidly over the past few years, but that's what it's all about, You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely do. I like your show. It's all right.
So, let's see.
We have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, and we have a lot of things to talk about tonight too.
So does your show go for an hour or two, or what? How?
About an hour.
Oh, good. That's a good time. It's a good amount of time. So, thank you for having me on. And what do you want to know?
Thanks for joining us. But let's kick it right off. I mean, you've got new singles coming out. You have a new EP, 4-song EP coming out the end of the year, from what I understand.
So, the Go-Go's are sort of on hiatus or whatever you want to call it. Right now, we're not playing, but that happens, where we won't work for a year or two even. And when that happens, everybody sort of gets into their own thing. Well, I got back into what I love doing, and that's writing and performing. And then, of course, my photography, and then my other art project with Scene 4, which I'll tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, so I put my band back together, House of Schock, or rather, I took the name House of Schock, and have new members in the band, and they're in Baltimore. That's home base for the band, and I'm heading back there this weekend. And we put out a song a couple weeks ago. It premiered, and it's streaming on all channels. It's called "Smile Pretty," House of Schock / Gina Schock, Go-Go's, all that. I'm multi-talented. Yeah. So that song "Smile Pretty" is out there. I think it will surprise a lot of folks. The sound is different than you might imagine. But
we actually have it queued up. If you want us to play it, we can.
Whenever you want, but that's cool. Yeah, man. It's I love the way it turned out. I've had this song for a while, but with this band, I had to, we produced it together or worked on it as a band. Everybody had input, and that's obviously what makes a song, sound like a band. Right. It is the input from all parties concerned. And that's the five of us together, coming up with ideas, and I love the way it turned out. And so I'm going back there, and we're gonna write some more material, and hopefully the beginning of the first quarter of next year, or closer to the beginning of next year, I hope to have out an EP, like a 4 or 5 song EP, and then go out and then tour behind that. Do some cool shows. I'll find some really good venues, put together a press package, which is we're in the process of doing right now, because everybody knows who I am, but they don't know me. I'm not as well known as the lead singer of my band, House of Schock. I mean, my reputation is, as the drummer for the Go-Go's, but I do so much more than that.
Wait a minute. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame drummer.
Pretty amazing, right, guys?
Right.
That was, what, we had given up on thinking even about getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because it was like every year it would just pass us by. We were like, fuck it, we don't even care. We're done with that whole idea. Doesn't matter. I mean, we know what we've accomplished. We can go out and play 365 days a year, and we always have a packed house. Everything's good in the Go-Go's house. And so we just had sort of given up on it. And then, of course, that's when it happens, So, call us up. You're going to be you're nominated. Okay, boom, you're inducted. We're all there hanging out with Paul McCartney. And, it was an amazing evening, you guys. And I have to say that, after poo-pooing it about, we don't care, it's really kind of cool to be in that club.
Well, right.
It's really cool.
I actually watched the induction with Drew Barrymore doing the induction for you guys, and just how you all lit up. And then when you guys took the stage, holy crap, after all these years, you all still kill it.
And when we play live, you really can hear our punk roots, because we rock when we play. It's the only way we know how to do it. We're not all the greatest musicians, but we're not bad.
No, but you paved the way for a lot of artists after you, female artists.
Yeah. It was extremely difficult to get any widespread recognition back in the day when we were trying to make it. The late 70s, early 80s. There weren't any all-female bands that had made it on a national level or certainly on an international level. And so record labels just really weren't that interested, We just kept playing, and our following was getting a little bit bigger and bigger. But, man, it was a tough road until we finally got signed, and then the music spoke for itself.
Right.
Record, went platinum pretty quickly. Within the first year. I mean, actually, we were out on the road for 6 months. And then Miles Copeland, who was the head of our record label, IRS Records, he called us and said, hey, how about opening for the Police? So we were like, yeah, we want to open for the Police. So when we did that, things changed pretty dramatically, because we went from playing clubs and small theaters to playing 20,000 seat arenas. you know,
Right.
The big places. And wow, did that change the trajectory of the band in a major way. And then we did Saturday Night Live, and then like the week after that it went platinum, and it was snowball effect. It just kept happening, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was something else. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I'm a little I'm kind of funny. I mean, I grew up listening to this stuff, you know, in my early years, as they say. I mean, you know, I'm not that old yet. Maybe.
Nah. You're only as old as you think, you know.
Right.
But I mean, I'm glad that you are an actual fan of the band, as was Drew Barrymore, and that's why I was so excited that she was the person that inducted us, because you know I remember we all do coming off stage, and Drew was like a little kid, and she'd be standing on the side of the stage with her mother. You know what I mean? Her mom used to bring her to shows, and you know, and as she got older, she'd come to shows, and then like when it was her name came up, we were like, oh my God, I think because it would be real. Like, she's a real fan. I don't think you can get a better person to induct you. And then that whole with the cold cream and the towels and all, we didn't know that was going to happen. She just did that. So, I mean, wow, that was so neat as well. I mean, she's tops in my book. She's a good girl. So proud of her and the way she turned out. She worked hard and, you know, got messed up along the way like we all did, but she made it through the tough periods of time. And look, she's unstoppable now. And she loves the Go-Go's, hey.
Right. But the Go-Go's, like I said, the Go-Go's paved the way for a lot of young female artists in the entertainment industry. I mean,
at the time, you know what, Ben? At the time, I don't think, and none of us were like even thinking about that. We were just having a great time, and we were working like dogs, but we were having so much fun, you know. And it's only in retrospect that you see, you know, what you've accomplished. And, you know, when I go out and I meet folks, you know, people walk up to me all the time and say, oh my God, you're the reason that I picked up a drum kit. You're the reason that I started to write songs. You're the reason I want to be in a band. And to me, I mean, that's just about as good as it gets. You know, I mean, God damn, to think you inspired someone, to want to pick up an instrument or to want to take pen to paper, that's all just about the best feeling. Because, you know, like the noblest profession of all is being a teacher. And that's where you sort of feel like you're taking the teacher reins there. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling. Because you're contributing. You know, you're really contributing, you know?
Yeah.
You were an influencer before influencing was even a thing.
It's true. Yeah. Before the word was so commonly used as it is today.
Right. But you have a book out.
Oh, geez, yes, Made in Hollywood. Another thing that was brewing for decades. Believe me, I sort of unknowingly became the archivist of the band. I just like I save everything. I mean, I'm not a hoarder, but I save stuff that's like important to me and. My whole life has been just one thing after the next that was like a dream that I can't believe it's really happening to me. This kid from Dundalk, I mean, I just had a dream. I grew up in a very blue-collar working class neighborhood. I'm really proud of that. My humble upbringing, and I think that helped set like a pretty good foundation for me not becoming too much of a mess. But anyway, wait, now I got lost on what I was saying. Fuck. I go off on these tangents. It's terrible. Because it's like I could sit here and just tell you one story after the next. You name somebody, give me a name. I got a story, you know.
Well, how about this? I do have some photos from the book.
My point about the book is, you guys, is that is sort of, from my viewpoint, you know, my life, you know, growing up and inside look at the Go-Go's, and because I always had a camera around my neck. I was always snapping photos, and they were great subjects because they would do whatever I told them, like, hey, let's do this, set up, do that scenario. everybody willing subjects. So to my madness. So that was always fun. And there came a time where I would bring the photos out on the bus, and we'd look at them and get hysterical, and everybody would say, "Man, you need to put a book together. We need to have that out there so people can see it." And then finally, I found someone to help me do that, because it seemed to me to be an overwhelming task. The thought of going through over 40 years worth of photos was just, I couldn't handle the thought of that. But I found a guy to help me do it. We got a book deal, and I originally wanted to put it out as just a coffee table photo book, a go-go's, coffee table book of photos. Mm-hmm. But then the publisher offered me more money, of course, and also taught, the value of having some text, having something written, words written with the photos. And I didn't know that I was capable of that, because I was like, oh my God, it's going to be like writing a book. I've never done that. I don't know if I can do that. And the guy that I was working with, he was like, why don't you give it a try? And you know what? It started flowing, and the words were pouring out, because, guys, when you look at a photo, you remember everything. It's like hearing a song, looking at a photo. And so I wound up having over 25,000 words, and I didn't think I could do that. But as I say, it was easy to look at the photo and tell exactly what was going on at that moment in time, and also during that period of time, what was happening. So it was one story after the next, wow. And every word is mine. So it's like you read you can open that book anywhere. It's like we're having a conversation when you read it. Easy reading. Yeah.
So I was gonna say every photo is worth 1,000 words. So
right. And they can find the link to Gina's book in the show notes, up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us.
I'm so proud of that book. I really am. I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I could get all these photos together, first of all. But I actually could do another one right now, another book of photos. I have so much stuff, guys. It's unbelievable all that I have. So I could do another one right now, actually. But I got so much going on. Maybe I'll get to that. But it turned out really well. I'm like I said, I'm proud of it.
Right.
We do have some photos, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to pull up a photo, and you can kind of give us a little story to it if you'd like. So let's start with this one here.
Well, there you go. I wrote it on the Polaroid. That is when we opened for the Stones. We were on tour, and we got a call. Hey, the Stones would like you to come out and do a show with them. Or they wanted us to do the tour, but we had a tour booked. We couldn't. But what we did do is we postponed the show, and we went to Rockford, Illinois, which was the smallest venue they were playing in on that tour. So that was a thrill right in and itself. It was a 10,000 seater. That was small for them. And so we did the show with them, got to meet everybody in the band. And I went out, I got to sit on Charlie's kit and play it with his kit. And I remember his drum tech telling me that the rug that the kit was sitting on was far more valuable than the drum kit, which I thought, that's a Charlie thing, I'd say, And Charlie was so cool, and just, he epitomized class, man. The guy was really something, really special kind of guy. A classy individual.
Excellent.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what that photo's from. And we got to open for the Stones that night. And not a lot of people can say they have done that, but yay, another stepping stone in the career of the band. That was incredibly memorable.
Let's see.
Rise.
Go ahead.
No, that's
what were you saying? Oh, okay.
That's all. Oh, Joan and myself. Oh my God. So Joan used to hang around in Hollywood. We all hung out. The scene was very small, the punk music scene. And, in 78, 79, 80, 81, everyone knew each other. Everyone would go to each other's show. You could go see 2 or 3 shows a night because it would start at 6, and then there'd be another one at 8, and there'd be another one at 10. I mean, it was a wonderful scene, and it was very inclusive. You know, we really supported each other, and that was Joan came. That was backstage at the Starwood, the infamous Starwood, which isn't there anymore. But yeah, that's where that photo was taken, and that's after Jane gave me a new look, and she cut off all my hair and dyed my hair black. It was it was a nice look.
Oh yeah. And I'm just going to give him one more. Oops.
Excuse me, Ben, but Joan is still a friend to this day. I
Oh,
just
that's
went and
awesome.
saw her play like a month or two ago with Brian Adams up in Niagara Falls, right in that area. She did a show.
Wow.
So I just saw her, and I just adore her. So happy she's still around, you know.
Love her music too.
And she's badass, man. She was like, the person I was with was like, or no, I was with Wendell, and he was like, "Is she playing singing the track?" And I was like, "No, that's the band. That's the way." I mean, she sounds so good, you can hardly tell. She sounds really good, you guys, live.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
And I think I'll bring up one more from the book, and then we'll talk a little bit about some other stuff. But this one I loved.
That is us. Oh, I'm gonna have a coughing attack. Give me a minute.
No worries.
Let me get a drink of water, guys. I'll be right back in a second.
Mhm.
Let me get a drink of water. I got too excited.
Wow,
So-
what a history there, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, her manager or Wendell, her manager, sent me a bunch of pictures, and I was just like, all right, Leo, let's just grab like 2 or 3, because I want people to go out and purchase her book.
Right.
Like I said, it's in the show notes, folks, up above or down below. Hopefully we'll get to play her new track when she comes back. But we have a bunch of other stuff to talk about. So anyway,
Should I
Yes.
play the track while we wait for her?
actually, yeah, you can if you want to. Let's do that.
Okay.
We'll just give her a drink of water. And if
Sounds
she
good.
comes back, we'll just cut it.
Awesome. Here we go.
Your behalf I fall and crash. I crumble so perfectly to match your filthy perfection. Go stay, I'm keeping my connections. You're my dose of THC. Yeah, oh yeah. You're my swag picture with me. Yeah, oh yeah. Smile, pretty, pretty. While you drag it down, pretty. Tell me why you watch me shine. Grab the chain and yank it hard. Someone's not paying attention. Sorry, I looked the other way. Sorry for this mistake I'll pay. Keep me thinking on my knees. Yeah, oh yeah. I want back what you took from me. Yeah, oh yeah. Smile, pretty, pretty. While you pull it down, pretty, kill me.
huh, guys?
I'm hooked. Already.
Yeah, it's really hooky. The guitar part is super hooky. I love it. And they just put that. My guitar player just put that little video together for the words. I guess you have to have to put it online. You have to have a word video. So that's what they did. Yeah, something about, I don't know, a lyric video.
Lyric, yeah.
A lyric video, yeah. So she just put that together, but maybe we can put out really do a real video for that song at one point. I don't know. If you get a record label behind it or get somebody with some money, we'll see. But for now, I think it's pretty fucking good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's about the song, so there you go.
It was very catchy.
Yeah, that's, you know what, guys? If there's one thing I've learned in the Go-Go's, that is hooks. Hooks. All about hooks. Guitar hooks. Vocal melody, melody hooks, vocals. I really get that part of it.
So I want to say real quick to all our viewers, Gina's going to be on tour next year at some point. So you're going to want to follow her, go out and see it at a show, and to our promoters out there that are friends of ours, if you want to book them, reach out.
Thanks for mentioning that, Ben, because we're gonna want to start getting out there and playing for folks and spreading the word and getting people to come and see us play, because I think I know you're gonna like it, because I know you probably have heard us about me, but I like to rehearse. So when we get out there and play, it's going to be good. It's going to sound good.
You got to make it up to New England?
Hell yeah, of course. East Coast. Oh yeah, of course.
Well, yeah, she said their base is out of Baltimore. So, we've got
Boston, easy one.
Well, yeah, we've got a couple of nice venues here in Plymouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll get Wendell to look into that stuff.
Yeah.
Because we've got to start. Like I say, when I get back there, we're going to finish this press package in October and hopefully get it out the beginning of November to promoters. And I'm going to start talking to. I have a booking agent from the Go-Go's. I can talk to him. I just wanted to do things more grassrootsy, like just see what Wendell and I can come up with in the beginning here, and just familiarize myself with all this stuff again on this level, which I haven't done in a million years. But it's interesting to see the way things have changed in the business on a club level and a theater level, right. And so it's been interesting, and but I have a lot of connections that I can probably call on to make things happen. I just want to take my time and make sure that we're ready to go when the time is right. But in the meantime, we can sort of put things together ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I was just gonna say I'm trying to look online right now. It looks like Rhode Island Comic-Con starting November 3rd. You're gonna be at.
I'm going to do that. Yeah. So the Comic-Con things, the way that happened was I was out, doing a book tour for Made in Hollywood. And Wendell and I met folks out there, and Wendell spoke with them about Comic-Cons, and wow, you should check into that. And then I remembered that Jane in my band in the Go-Go's had done Comic-Cons before. And so I thought, why not? I'm out here promoting, and if it's in, close to where I'm working, I can do that. So now it's just been not quite a year. October will be a year when we started doing that. And it's been really, really fun, because here's where I get a chance to be, 5 feet away from a Go-Go's fan or Gina Schock fan, and have them tell me, how I have impacted their life. And I hear some crazy stuff. You saved my life when I was in a period where I thought I was going to just do myself in. And if it hadn't been for you, and it's like, Jesus, I never think about that stuff, but I've heard that more than once. And then lots of folks that just, it reminds them of the most joyful period of their life. Because, let's face it, the Go-Go's songs are about like partying and having fun. Nothing really heavy, and no politics involved. So I hear a lot of really good, a lot of heavy stories, but many more stories about, the joy that the band has brought to folks out there. And that's always nice.
I think that kind of stuff is good for the soul, to hear that from your fans.
Oh, you bet. It makes me know that I'm doing something worthwhile. And that's a really great feeling, you guys. Like I feel like, when I finally close my fucking eyes, that there will be something out there that is, I've left my mark, and that's a good feeling. I've got my Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a star on Hollywood Boulevard. That's pretty cool.
Right.
I mean, that's not, but that's not what life is all about. But being a musician, it's important. Those sort of achievements along the way, and like, playing Madison Square Garden and playing the Hollywood Bowl and just different things, opening for the Stones. These are so big in my life. And it'll be somewhere in the books when I'm going. For like I say, for somebody that grew up with really humble beginnings, and that you can accomplish anything if you stay focused and you work hard. Anything is within your grasp if you really want it enough. I firmly believe that.
Oh yeah.
Because me, it can happen to anyone, but you gotta love what you're doing. You gotta want to put the time in.
Yep. Absolutely.
And on that note, I want to say that you're doing the right thing, because you've got to get your face out there. Doing these cons is very, very important. Doing, shows like this, where people can see you and actually interact. I think that's more important in a lot of ways than standing on a stage.
It's just as important, because it all has its value. It all has its place, Jeff, I'm talking about getting awards and all that stuff, but something that's really important to me is what's happening in this country to folks our age and their parents that are aging and getting sick. And it seems like everybody's getting dementia or Alzheimer's, and it's like a major fucking dilemma in this country. And it doesn't have the voice that it needs out there. And I want to start talking about that more, because I took 6 or 7 years of my life to take care of my parents. I brought them from Baltimore. My dad just passed in 2021. I stopped I stopped writing. I had written songs that Selena Gomez did and that Miley Cyrus covered, both those artists. And it was sort of a good time in my songwriting career. It was like, it was coming together in a way that it never did in the Go-Go's. And so I was really proud of that. And then I just sort of walked away from that to take care of my parents. And it is one of the hardest, but one of the most important, best things I've ever done in my life. And thank God that I had the means to take care of my parents, because I know so many people that are having to fucking sell their house, or, they take away the person that's sick, they take away everything. They cash it all in. Okay. And then if you have to go into like a state run place, forget it, man. Those facilities are so horrible. And this is like something's happening that needs a lot more press. It needs to be talked about. I want to talk about that more. I'm going to work with this woman who wrote this book called Funny Farm. And it was on the New York Times best-selling list 2 years ago. And I'm going to meet Marjorie. Well, I've met her already, but I'm going to start trying to work with her. We've already discussed about doing a book. And she was like, you know what? This would be great. I mean, this is happening to a lot of people, but your perspective is a little different, because this would be like, this would be from someone in your shoes, meaning myself, what my perspective of what it's like being in a hugely successful rock band and, walking away from everything and taking care of my mom and dad, and the journey that I have been on taking care of them. And everybody can relate to it, except that it'll be a little different because I'm who I am, and I'm not, just.
Well, right.
But anyway, so yeah, I'm hopefully gonna get a book written with Marjorie about that journey with my parents, because they were my biggest influence, and they were always there for me. They were very supportive of everything I've done. A lot of people, and I hear this a lot, you guys, women will come up to me and say, oh, in school, I was discouraged from playing drums. I told my music teacher I want to play drums, and they would say, oh no, girls don't play drums. And they were like, because of you, I knew that I could do that. So I just played anyway. I learned on my own. And so it was like, wow. And then parents would discourage it as well. My mom was like, I wish you were a singer, but you go ahead and play drums if that's what you want to do. And they were there for me when I put everything I own in my father's pickup truck. And me and a friend from high school drove across country. I knew 3 people in LA, and went over there seeking fame and fortune. Like, I'm going to make it. I mean, and how difficult that would be for a parent to let the baby. I was a baby in the family. Well, I was 21. Pick up everything and drive across country. I remember the main thing they were worried about was me joining a cult. That was really big. Yeah. Please don't join any cults, Gina. And I was like, Mama, I don't worry about that. I won't. Yeah. So they allowed me to come across country, and, the Go-Go's wouldn't be what they are today. I don't know where the Go-Go's would be if it wasn't for just the 5 of us, and how we all sort of landed in each other's lives.
Right.
Fate. That's fate.
Big, to finish the story, as to why it was a no-brainer to take care of them.
Right. Yeah. Family's always first.
Yeah, it's the picture, a big part in my story anyway. And so hopefully I can write that book. And then, oh my God, the other thing is, you guys, that I'm gonna wait. Did we talk about my gallery show in LA yet?
Not yet. We can do that though.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this because I'm, a visual artist as well as, drumming, but I love photography, and I love stuff on canvas, painting or whatever it may be. So I got involved with this company called Scene 4. These 2 guys, like Stuart Copeland's done it, Sheila E., Stephen Perkins, a lot of really major badass drummers. And it's this LED technology where you go into the studio. The studio is completely black. My drums are set up. They hand me these 2 sticks with LED lights in them, and they move up and down as you can shake it. You know what I mean? Like one of those little sticks that they give you at concerts where the lights, the fluid inside of it moves up and down. Well, that's sort of what it is. Oh, these are LED lights. So according to how I am, and there's of someone photographing this whole thing. And there's all these lights that are happening as they're click, 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 click. All these different lights are strobing. And so the effect, the what comes out of this is, and then they put it in a computer. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so I sat down and I would play different beats or different songs. And then they'd say, okay, hit the drum on this angle, or, hit the cymbals a couple times. Anyway, I followed their lead, and they said, we feed this into a computer, and it comes out, and we're putting it on. The end result is going to be on canvas, and it looks so fucking cool, you guys. It is the neatest thing. Have you seen it? Because it's really good.
I actually have a picture that was sent to me. So
wow, there you go.
That is one of them. So Gina has 5 of these out already. And from what I hear, there'll be 6 new ones coming out at the end of October.
They asked me to pick out 5 or 6 of them, 6 or 7, and it was like practically impossible to choose them because they're all really cool in their own way. They all say something different about what I was playing and the speed. and the speed that I was playing things and according to how the lights were moving. That was really a day well spent. And now I have some art on canvas, which I love. So I'm really excited about that. So we're going to do a show where it'll be like maybe one side of the room will be my stuff, the LED stuff on canvas, and then the other side will be, I think maybe we might do just Polaroids out of Made in Hollywood. Because I'd love to do Polaroids are so cool. And, it's of course, I had my Canon AE1 and I was taking, my 24 millimeter. Anyway, I was taking regular film. And then I got into a phase where I just wanted to take nothing but Polaroids. So for a couple of years, I just took Polaroids. And they're really cool in the book. I love that. Thinking if I could do the Polaroid period,
Right.
I still have my Polaroid. I still got it. My dad worked for Polaroid.
Oh, no kidding. That's so neat. Well, I went out and bought a couple more, and I do have the original one, but it's pretty fucked up. It's, you know what? I'm going to show you that right now that you brought it up. You know what? Tell your dad.
I worked for a company that sold some of those, and like right before they stopped making it, I told them, hey, we got to buy as much film as we could. Obviously, they ignored me. And the price of like Polaroid film like skyrocketed.
Oh my
because
God,
they weren't making it anymore. And there's like a whole like market for like old film, because it gives like a special effect when they use it.
My original Polaroid, look at that.
Oh, wow.
That's probably what I took the Polaroids on. This, and then this.
That should be in a museum.
This. Now you open this one up. Well, that one. And then I went out and bought the newer one like a couple years ago. Polaroid time. Yeah. So yeah, I was into Polaroids, but this is the original right here. And it was like, this is like supposed to be leather, I think, but it's not. Look at it. It's all fucked up.
Wow.
What's that from? Guess. Oh my God, you guys. The Eurythmics. November 13th, 1983.
Wow.
Wait, how do I get that on there? Can you see it?
Yep.
That was in, I know when this was. This was when the first time that we went and met Annie and Dave, and they were playing at a university that was right outside of where we were recording our third album, Talk Show. And so we went to see them play.
Wow.
And I must have stuck that pass on there. And I took Polaroids, and they're in the book.
What you should do is like maybe contact Sotheby's or something. I'm sure that would go for a pretty penny.
What? And you know what else I got, guys? I have every single tour book. Every single tour book from every tour, from the beginning to the end. And I would write in them, like if the show was good or shitty, I'd write it in the tour book. And, write down things that were happening, fights that we were having with each other, just what nonsense. I have every backstage pass, every laminate pass. I have every pass.
Wow.
From every show that I've ever gone to. I have every ticket from every show that I've ever gone to. As you can see, my first Led Zeppelin opener for The Who in the book. Mm-hmm. I have every ticket for every show.
Wow.
No. They don't even give tickets. They don't give tickets like that anymore.
No.
And the biggest music fan, or one of them, on this planet Earth. I'm telling you, it was in every fiber of my being since I was a kid. It's all I cared about. I couldn't, that and taking photographs, I was really, really into that. And I remember sitting up late. I was like the only kid in grade school with dark circles under my eyes because I would sit up all night and watch TV with my mom. And so then hence I was into old film. So, my three favorites.
So you've done so many things, but is there one band out there that you never got the opportunity to play with that you would love to play with?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, I would have wished I could have played with Led Zeppelin. I wish I could have played with the Stones. I mean, well, you mean play in the band, get to play drums with them, or what do you mean?
Or just open for them.
Oh, Led Zeppelin, but they were, John Bonham was gone by that time. But you know what? Here's a cool story. I got a million stories, you guys. Before we had our record deal, when we were coming back from England after we had opened for Madness and the Specials in the UK, we came back and we had put a single out in the UK on Stiff Records, and it had become a hit in the clubs. And well, on the way back to LA, we stopped in New York City, and we did a show. What's the name of the place? A theater's really famous. Well, some things I remember and some I don't. But anyway, at that show, when we walked off stage, our roadie came up and said, John Lennon was here. This was a couple months before he got murdered. And he actually saw the Go-Go's. But he left at the encore. But Pete Townsend was there. He came back, and I got to meet him, and David Bowie was there, and I got to meet him for the first time ever.
Wow.
People that you fucking idolize. But that was the first time I met Bowie, and we got to open for Bowie, and I met him several times. And Pete Townsend only met that one time, but John and Yoko were at that show. That was really cool.
Now, didn't you do some drumming for Aha?
You know what I did? When they first came to the States, they needed somebody to play drums with them on all the TV shows. So I did that. A&M Records called me and said, would you do this? And I was like, sure, I'll do it. They were nice guys, super nice guys. And they were all so beautiful. Oh my God, really good looking. And really nice. So I don't know what I did, Dick Clark. I did Soul Train with them. Can you believe that? Soul Train.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What a life. It's been good, guys. It's still happening. Still good.
Right.
Yeah.
So much more to come.
I mean, I hope there is more to come. I don't, a lot of, guys, what I always want to do and what I'm really lucky to be able to do now is to spend like half of my time doing my music and my photography and whatever and then the other half for spend it for for charities to like I said about calling attention to the Alzheimer's dementia issue, and then different animal organizations that I am on the board of directors for, like Muttville and Funny Farm back east and Pitties and Purrs and all anything to do with animals. I want to help out, and so I'm involved in that in a way that I instead of just giving money now, I can actually, I think, spend time. Because I've always been, I could only ever give money, but now I went to the Funny Farm, I went to Pitties and Purrs, and that's kind of nice to be able to do that and actually go there and see the places that are housing all these poor little critters, and giving them a new life, giving them a reason to live and a place to have a nice life for whatever the remainder of that may be. All this stuff is really important to me and has been for a long time. But now, like I said, I can actually have a more hands-on approach to all this stuff, and that's kind of nice.
Right. Did you ever
have any rescues?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you have any rescues yourself?
1990s when I started rescuing. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You guys, next to my bed, I have 7 boxes of ashes.
Wow.
Because here's the thing I learned. When I first wanted, I grew up with a dog. I always had dogs when I was a kid. And when I got my first dog when I was in LA, when I was in LA with, and in the Go-Go's, Noodles and Floyd, it was 2 of them. Anyway, the thing that I learned when I went into the animal care and control facility down there was you walk over to the puppies because they're puppies and you're like, oh, they're so fucking cute, He said, don't worry about them. They'll get adopted. The ones that we put down daily are the old ones. Nobody wants the old ones. And that changed my perception completely. From then on, it was about rescuing old dogs. And that's how I've made acquaintance with several, like for instance, Muttville, a woman named Sherry Franklin runs that, and they rescue old dogs. And you know, that's what I've been doing for now 30 years.
Wow.
You know, rescuing ones that are, I'll just take whatever I have, what comes my way. Right now I have Penny. She just, whatever, that's another story. But, you know, I just figure a lot of people, first of all, people don't want to deal with a dog that has to be given medications throughout the day. And a lot of people can't afford it. And once again, I can do that. So you know what? I'll do it. That's my part. I can do that. So I'll be happy. So yeah, it's all about rescuing older dogs. But I mean, but whatever. You know, I'm like a fucking magnet for dogs. I walk down the street and they all run towards me. It's like, wow, don't get another one now. But yeah.
I'm an old dog. You want to rescue me?
Yeah, somebody needs to rescue me, baby. No, I'm like, everything's good. Everything's good. But I feel like there's so much I want to do, you know, and there's only so many hours in the day.
Right. We, Leo, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was saying, you know, that's what keeps you young. You know, you're a creative, so constantly thinking about things to do and everything. You know, just that like you said in the beginning, it's you know, only as old as you feel. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know, and the thing is that I'm used to being busy. You know, that's the way I was brought up. That's the way from when I was, you know, in my 20s, my early 20s, I was constantly working in the Go-Go's. We were always busy, always working one thing after the next. And I like staying, that sort of set the mode up for me as, you know, passing through all periods of my life, staying busy, because sitting around is like not a good thing for me.
Right.
I get into bad stuff. You know, you think too much. You think too much. You got to pull yourself out of yourself and put your focus on others, on other things. How can you help? What can you do? You know, can I take these couple of chords and make a great song? Can I take these couple of words that I've written down and make some cool lyrics? To even, you know, from that amount of stuff to going out and rescuing a little critter or whatever it may be. Helping somebody out walking down the street, an old lady. So I don't know. Get out of yourself, because being in yourself too much is not a good thing. For me, it isn't anyway.
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. You know, especially because the older you get, you have so much to draw from, so many experiences that you have to sort of block some of that out. Because some of it's good and some of it's bad.
Yep. So,
absolutely.
As far as the rescuing of animals, did you ever get the chance to work with Betty White? Because I know she was really big into that.
But God bless Betty White, yes.
And I want to play something for you. Yes. We were blessed the month after Betty passed away to get the last commercial that she did for adopting animals. So if you don't mind, I'm going to play that for you real quick.
Please.
Leo, you want me to do it? Or?
Come on, Leo.
Is it the A&O BW?
Yep.
Thank you for supporting Actors and Others for Animals. We started a long, long time ago. So when you find an organization like Actors and Others for Animals, it sort of unites all of those of us who want to pay back something for all the joy we get out of animals. Please keep up the good work. Believe me, it's deeply appreciated.
Oh, what an angel she was, huh?
Yep.
Good woman. So smart and creative and yeah.
Well, you opened that up when you were talking about how you rescue animals, and I said to myself, "Wow, we still have that that commercial that was sent to us by her PR firm literally the month after she passed away. We were honored just to be able to have it.
I would be, yeah, sure. Yeah, she was a giver, huh?
Right. So I do want to say to our viewers and our listeners, we only have a few minutes left with this amazing lady. So if you have questions or comments, I suggest you get them in the chat ASAP, because we've got to let her get back to her life. But I do want to say, if you're interested in her artwork, it's in the show notes up above or down below, as well as her book. And you can always just follow her online and see all the amazing things that she's doing.
Yeah, thank you for that shout out, Ben.
Well, the show's about you.
Well, yeah, it's about us. It's about the four of us.
Well, that's a cool question.
John was a friend of ours. He came. We met John when we did Saturday Night Live. He wasn't on Saturday Night Live. He had just left, but he showed up. He came. Oh, we first met him in L.A. He came to one of our first gigs at the Whiskey, and we met him. And he was such a great guy, so kind and generous, and brilliant comedic art that he gave the world. And we, Kathy and myself, got to be kind of good friends with he and his wife Judy over the years. And John would come out and he would introduce us when we would play. He'd come out and, here's the Go-Go's, and talk about all of us. And I just remember him saying to us, I don't want nothing from you guys. I don't want nothing. I just want to hang out because I really think you're cool. I really like your music and I like what you do. So I thought, what a cool guy. He doesn't want to fuck all of us. What he wants to do is hang out and soak up the craziness of all of us sitting in a room and having a good time. So he was brilliant. His wife was fantastic. And so whenever he came to LA, we would get in touch and hang out. And I saw him like the month before he died. I saw him backstage at a police show. Well, let me get to the better stuff. When we were in New York, we'd go to the Blues Bar and play with him and Dan. And that was some fun times. Yeah, whoever was in town would come and play. Get up on the stage and play. Had some fun times with him. And Dan was a nice fellow. But I did see John before he passed backstage at the police show at the Forum. And he was not in a good place. I just remember it. It was, I talked to him for a minute, but I felt like I wasn't even talking to him. He wasn't in a good, but he had Judy with him and he had Dan. They were both sort of taking care of him as best they could, because he would go through periods where he would use drugs and then he wouldn't use it all. And I just got the best of him. He was just hanging out with the wrong people.
That happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Because look, everybody in my business goes through a period of using too much of something. I, can only think of one person that's never used, and that's Gene Simmons. But everybody else has used, if not had a problem with substance abuse. So yeah. So, John was a friend.
Right. So that question that just came in, Leo, I think we'll have for the last question for the viewers, and then we'll wrap up ours because we do have to let Gina go.
Yeah. So Bone is asking. Just to read the question out. Bone is asking, did the Go-Go's get their name from the Whiskey A Go-Go?
No, the Go-Go's, I think Jane and Belinda were sitting at Denny's one night trying to figure out a name for the band. And it wound up, they were volleying around several different names and wound up with using the Go-Go's, which is good. Turned out good. I think the other name was that it was sort of between that and the Misfits. Yeah. So, but being the Go-Go's. Sit at late night after the club at Denny's.
After the club at
Denny's. Yeah, Denny's.
Wouldn't that be a trip if they decided to go with the Misfits and then the Misfits went with the Go-Go's? That would be like total trip.
But we all hung out and knew each other. We'd all run into each other, that's for sure. Because it was a small scene, like I said, everybody knew each other. But I'll tell you, when someone would make it, everybody would get kind of pissed off because you sold out. You'd hear that sort of background. They sold out, sort of thing.
Right.
Fuck it. I was happy to sell out.
Well, it's not selling out; it's succeeding. You know.
Leo, I didn't drive to LA in my father's pickup truck to play in clubs my whole fucking life. I wanted to be at Madison Square Garden. You know what? I wanted to be on a record label. That was my dream come true. So if somebody don't like it, fuck you.
And now you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, try to wreck your own dream, not mine.
So on that note, I'm going to let Jeff and Leo, any last questions for Gina?
Well, the one I always ask Gina, I know we heard a lot about you tonight, but what other than rescuing animals and drumming, what is something that you dork out about? Like we've had, actors on here that like researching sunken vessels or, they collect flutes or something. What is something that you geek out about?
UFOs.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I saw UFOs. I'm not a bullshitter, you guys. Let me just tell you, I'm not a bullshitter, but I saw fucking UFOs out my back door at this house here in San Francisco. And I was screaming, there's UFOs! I was screaming. And the caregiver at the time was downstairs with my dad, and he ran up the steps and he saw him, so I have a witness. But it looked like a Pac-Man game. It were these brilliant whites, and I guess it would have been like looking like, because I'm in San Francisco, so it would have been in the bay, would have been over the bay. There were really thick black clouds. It looked like it was going to be a major storm. And on one side, it was kind of white clouds, and the other side was black, pitch black. In the middle, it was blue. And in the middle, there were these white objects. It was 6 or 7 of them. And they were just sort of like following each other, like it was like a game. It looked like a fucking Pac-Man game, you guys. It really did. They were brilliant white. At first I thought, are those birds? But I mean, no, they were too big and they were too bright to be birds. And the way that they moved, it was not normal. And they would go around, one would follow, and they, one by one, eventually they all went into that black cloud and they never came out. So I was like, that's the mothership. Okay? They're getting back in the mothership. That's my experience with UFOs. And and you know what? I feel like a crazy person saying it because anybody, when those words come out of your mouth, or if you're so lucky as to have those words come out of your mouth, you can hardly believe it yourself. But I saw this. I did see this.
The feeling of craziness is, a lot of that is, I believe, disinformation campaign from the government. The San Francisco Bay, where you saw, I don't know if you've seen it in, I think 2017, the government released some videos of
it's a hotspot.
It's a hotspot.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But that's where Ryan, I think it's Ryan Graves, his video was filmed with the Tic Tac video.
Yep.
And the one that went into the water.
Yep.
And it's actual video from his fighter jet, where he was trying to catch it. And that's was released by the government. And David Grush is a whistleblower right now trying to bring forward disclosure.
This lately, yeah. And it's the guy that's been talking about it on TV?
Yep.
Yeah. It's coming out. I don't know. It's kind of scary, guys. Just remember, I do recall what... oh, for God's sakes! Now here I go with another name. What is the name of that fellow? He was like a quadriplegic, the brilliant guy.
Stephen Hawking.
David Hawkins. I remember him saying if they are UFOs, or if they are out there, be afraid. Well, because obviously they're far more advanced than anything we can even imagine it, and I mean, so advanced. So we better pray that they want to do something to help us out.
Well, they say Jimmy Carter, when he was told the truth about the aliens, that he cried for several days.
Did he? Wow.
Yeah.
I love Jimmy Carter. What a good guy.
So, folks, it looks like we're going to have Gina back on maybe in about 6 months. Talk about her tour and UFOs.
I'd love to talk about UFOs. That's what I'm either watching TCM, watching my old, or else I'm watching UFO stuff.
Yep.
Documentaries. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So I have my final question. What about like the paranormal? Do you believe in Sasquatch?
Yes, of course. You know, you guys, the universe, the world, it's just too big for us to even think that we have it all worked out. There's just, it's too fucking outrageous and crazy that we're even on this planet and we're in conversation right now. I mean, you know what? There could be an alien sitting right next to us and you don't even know it. I mean, I just think there's just so much going on that we have no idea.
Right.
Because we have fucking pea brains compared to what else is out there. And yeah, I certainly believe in that. And because why not? Spirits are a powerful thing.
Okay.
And where does all the energy go? I mean, we're all just balls of energy, right? And when we die, that energy goes out there. Where does it go? Who knows? But we are energy, right? When you die, energy comes up out of your body. So,
right. I mean, you know, in my opinion, not to believe in aliens is conceited.
Yep.
Gives you the right to think. Yeah, right. Exactly. How ignorant, right? To think. That's all I can say about it. To think that we are the only ones. We have all the answers.
Right.
Come on.
So,
come on.
On that note, folks, I'm going to show one last comment before we let Gina go. No, that's not the comment. It's this one right here. Thanks for being an influence that girls can kick ass.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. And I hope that anybody who's listening can really believe that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. You really can.
And you're living proof.
And I am living proof.
So on that, Leo, I'm going to let you wrap the show. Gina, just hang tight until he says the show's closed, please. Leo?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know, for me, just Google me. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. We got a ton of shows on the network. There's a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing another live stream in about half an hour. So stay tuned. And, you know, speaking of aliens and stuff, blow your mind. Just released today. They found, Jeff, I don't know if you heard this, a wooden structure that is 470,000 years old, so half a billion years old. Absolutely insane. But Gina, where do you like people interacting with you?
Where?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
On social media.
Oh, shit. I don't even know what I'm doing. I check out Instagram every day.
Awesome. Well, we have your Instagram information in the show notes, and now people know that's going to be the place to reach you.
Yeah, and I have Instagram, Facebook, whatever else there are. I have everything.
But Instagram's your favorite.
That's my favorite, though.
Awesome. Jeffrey.
Yay. Happy Wednesday. Thank you, Gina. That was incredible. I learned a lot of the inside person of you, and that really means a lot to me, having grown up listening to the Go-Go's, and now I get a chance to see you continue on. As far as us, go to stilltoken.com. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, because there's an awful lot of cool shit that's going to be dropping in the near future. So make sure you go to YouTube, Still Token With. If you don't want to do that, just go to Facebook, Toking with the Dead, or stilltoking.com. I don't give a fuck. Do what you want to do.
Benjamin.
Well, Gina was talking.
Where did they structure a wooden structure? You said, Leo. What'd you say?
Yeah, there was a wooden structure. I think it was several planks that were human made. That was 470,000 years old. I'll try to find out where it was found.
Wow. I love it. I want to hear more.
I'll make sure that I get that over to you.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Do I get to close the show out?
Yes, Ben. We're waiting on you.
So, like Jeff said, stilltoking.com, all our Facebook, it's all on the website, stilltoking.com. We want to thank Gina for coming out and spending, time with us tonight. Like Jeff said, getting to know more about her. All her stuff is in the show notes up above or down below. Check out the book. Check out the artwork. Check her out on tour. Go see her at a fucking Comic-Con, as she would say. But to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.